Today, we're going to explore how English works as more than just a language. It's actually a tool that can help people collaborate and perform effectively in international business. Our discussion is going to be based on Rashid and Kankanranta's 2025 study on English communication in global workplaces. Will connect their findings to Lululemon, a Canadian brand that relies on strong communication between designers, suppliers, and partners across continents. And by the end, we hope to show that clear communication isn't just a soft skill, it's actually a real business strategy that can save time, reduce delays, and strengthen partnerships. Let's start with a quick overview of what this study discovered. So, this paper compares what companies expect from professionals and what universities actually teach students. In industry, people value clarity, action, and efficiency. In universities, the focus is usually on grammar, structure, and presentation style. The authors introduce BELF. BELF is Business English as a lingua franca. This focuses on being clear and practical rather than perfect. They found a major gap between fluency and effectiveness. In business, success isn't about sounding native, it's about making sure your message gets the things done. For a global company like Lululemon, this finding really matters because their success depends on teams who can communicate clearly across different countries and languages. So, now that we understand the main idea, let's look at the environment where this kind of communication actually takes place. So, to give some research context, the study focuses on teams that work across borders, time zones, and cultures. Picture Lululemon, designers in Vancouver, suppliers in Vietnam or Sri Lanka, and logistics teams in Hong Kong. Every product decision, from fabric selection to final shipment, passes through people who may not share the first same language. So when messages are unclear, delays, reworks, and mistakes happen. Even one vague email can push production back by a week. This shows that in global business, communication is just as important as logistics. For Lululemon, clarity doesn't just make collaboration smoother, it affects timelines, supplier relationships, and product quality directly. So, how did the researchers uncover these insights? Let's look at the method behind the study. The researchers use a qualitative approach to understand both sides of communication, what companies expect, and what universities actually provide. So they interviewed professionals and educators and analyzed real workplace documents like emails and reports and reviewed university course materials. And they discovered that strong business communication depends on three key habits: being clear, confirming understanding, and using shared vocabulary. So, people who organize their thoughts and double check comprehension consistently achieve better results. For a company like Lululemon, this matches their continuous improvement mindset: observe, analyze, and make things work better each time. Now that we know how the study was done, let's look at what they found, starting with the BELF concept. BELF stands for Business English as a Lingua Franca. It's English used as a practical tool among professionals who speak different first language. It's built on three main habits: First, say your purpose or decision clearly. Second, check by paraphrasing or asking quick clarifying questions. And third, confirm who is responsible and when things need to be done. So, Belf is about being understood, not about being perfect. For Lululemon, this means that a planner in Vancouver and a factory manager in Dakar can read the same message and take the same action without confusion. Shared vocabulary also plays a big role, so words like lead time or lab dip have specific meanings that prevent mistakes and saves time. Belf helps teams stay efficient, aligned, and confident in how they communicate. So now that we've explored the solution, let's look at the challenge it's meant to solve. Let's look at the communication gap between what's being taught and what's actually needed in business. So, in today's workplaces, companies expect short, clear, and actionable messages that move projects forward. Meanwhile, universities often focus on long, formal writing that values correctness over clarity. This gap shows up clearly in global business operations. For example, at Lululemon, an email written like an essay can easily delay fabric approvals or shipping updates. The problem isn't usually the grammar, it's the structure and the intent. When communication isn't built for action, teams spend days clarifying details that could have been clear from the start. So, bridging this gap gives companies a real advantage. Clear communication saves time, reduces confusion, and keeps everyone aligned. Now that we understand the gap, let's look at why Lululemon is such a perfect fit for applying these ideas. Lululemon is a great example of how communication directly shapes performance. It's a Canadian multinational that works with suppliers, manufacturers, and quality teams all around the world. Each product involves inputs from multiple countries and time zones. Because of that, communication is essential. By using BELF principles, Lululemon can make sure every message leads to understanding and action. This helps reduce rework, shorten approval cycles, and strengthen supplier partnerships. When communication improves, deliveries speed up, quality becomes more consistent, and teamwork feels smoother across borders. Let's take a look at where communication matters most within Lululemon's global operations. Across Lululemon's global supply chain, there are a few critical moments where communication makes or breaks performance. First, during product development, when designs and materials are defined. Second, in sourcing quality assurance, where details must be consistent across all suppliers. And third, in production and logistics, where timing and accuracy determine delivery success. At each stage, clear and direct communication helps keep projects on track. So, applying BELF principles ensures that every conversation leads to coordinated action instead of confusion. Now that we know where communication has the biggest impact, let's analyze what happens when it breaks down. In real life, miscommunication often looks like long email chains that go back and forth for days. One unclear request leads to multiple clarifications, delays, and waste time. At Lululemon, when a supplier isn't sure what is being asked, they might hesitate to seek clarification and instead make assumptions. This can cause errors and quality issues that can take weeks to fix. The truth is, people usually aren't bad communicators. They just need a clearer system that helps them express ideas simply and effectively. And that's what we're aiming to build, a structure supported by templates, training, and the right tools. Let's begin with structure because good communication starts with a clear format. Templates. Templates are an easy and reliable way to make good communication a habit. They bring consistency to messages across teams and time zones. For instance, a decision email should include the purpose, what decision is needed, who owns it, and the deadline. Meeting notes should record key decisions and next actions. A CAPA report should summarize the issue, the cause, the action taken, and how it will be verified. Templates save time because everyone knows exactly what to expect and where to find the information they need. They also help new team members adapt quickly to the communication style that works best for the company. Now that we have the structure in place, let's focus on how people can build these habits through real hands on learning. Training is most effective when it happens in the flow of real work. At Lululemon, this could mean reviewing actual emails, rewriting them using BELF principles, and providing feedback right away. This kind of practical, integrated learning helps people build confidence and improve faster than traditional classroom style training. It's all about learning by doing and creating a company culture where clarity becomes second nature. By including this approach in vendor onboarding or team development, we help everyone with the same clarity and confidence no matter where they are in the world. To make these improvements last, we'll also need to look at the right tools and resources. So let's look at the tools and enablement processes. Technology plays an important role in maintaining clarity. There are three simple but effective tools Lululemon can use. First, they can start smart email checklists that remind people to include purpose, owner, and deadline. Second, a shared glossary that defines key business terms so everyone uses language consistently. And third, a BELF style communication guide stored in Teams or share PowerPoint for easy access. These tools make it easier to write clear messages and stay aligned, and also maintain the same communication standards across regions. So now let's bring all of this together into a timeline that shows how the plan could be rolled out. So, our communication improvement plan can be completed in 12 weeks. In weeks 1 and 2, we will review current workflows and collect examples of real communication challenges. In weeks 3 to 5, we co design templates and start pilot training sessions. In week 6 to 8, we'll launch the tools and gather feedback. In weeks 9 to 10, we'll make adjustments and train internal champions. Finally, in weeks 11 and 12, we complete a full rollout and evaluate the results. So, in just 3 months, Lululemon can move from reactive communication to proactive and achieve consistent clarity. Next, let's look at how we'll measure the success of this plan. To see real progress, we'll track a few clear metrics. The Clarity Index, which measures how often emails require follow up. The cycle time from a request for a quotation to purchase order. The defect recurrence rate. This shows how communication affects quality and the confidence level employees report in cross cultural communication. When these numbers improve, it means that messages are getting clearer, collaboration is smoother, and work is moving faster. For Lululemon, this translates into better performance, fewer delays, and stronger global relationship. Of course, no plan is perfect. Let's take a look at a few risks and how we can address them. Any change can bring resistance. Some people might feel like using templates or new tools will slow them down. We can help them see how structure actually saves time by reducing work. Cultural differences also cause hesitation when people aren't sure how direct they can be. BELF training encourages respectful and open communication across cultures. And finally, habits fade without reinforcement. So, regular follow ups or refresher sessions will keep the momentum going. The goal isn't for everyone to sound the same, but for everyone to be understood the first time. Let's look at a quick example. Before Belf, a message might say, "Please check the fabric issue and get back." After Belf, it becomes "Decision needed. Confirm if lot 4 fabric meets AQL 1.5 by Friday. Ona Nguyen. The difference is clear. The second version is short and direct and leaves no room for confusion. If every email across global team followed this model, Lululemon could save hours each day and weeks each quarter. That's how small communication changes lead to major efficiency gains. Finally, let's bring everything together with the key takeaways from this project. So, our key takeaways are: clear communication is a skill that creates measurable results. Intelligibility matters more than fluency. Structure and templates make clarity a habit. Training and tools help those habits stick. And KPIs help us measure improvement over time. For Lululemon, using BELF principles means faster decisions, fewer errors, and stronger team network across countries. This study reminds us that communication isn't about speaking or writing well, it's about creating understanding that drives performance. Thank you all for listening. Goodbye.